4D Basketball Hoop Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hello everyone! In today's video I'm going to be showing you a 4D basketball hoop with a little basketball that either dangles to the side or you can actually put it up and through the hoop. I personally don't really follow basketball very much, but I am married to somebody who very much so follows basketball, and when I said when would be an optimal time to upload a basketball design, I got a look of excitement. So I knew I had to do this because he was thrilled about the whole idea of a basketball nail art design. So this was mostly for him, but I hope you guys like it too, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
So to begin with, I'm just going to be showing you some brushes that I just got, and then I'll also show you a little ceramic bit that I just got. So here's the brushes. It was a set that they all came together in one, as you can see, in one bag. And please ignore the little kitty that's meowing. I know she's been heard in a couple other videos recently, and she doesn't like it when I'm alone and she's not with me. So that's what that's about. These brushes, you can take off the handle so they can fold down and they condense really, really small. The one thing that I would just like to say about them is they seemed rather large to me. So there's a couple that were the same that were pretty big and square that I didn't really think I'll probably ever use, but there are a couple small ones. There's one that for doing French tips is beautiful in there in that set. And here's a ceramic bit. It is very similar to the other ceramic bit that I just made a huge video on, except for that it's much finer. The grit or the texture is much finer. So now I'm going to begin with an overlay of clear acrylic. Because this nail is just clear, I couldn't narrow down, I couldn't decide on a background, so I decided, you know what, just clear is the way to go for this one. So just a clear overlay over the top of the entire nail, then using that ceramic bit, I'm going to be filing it. The bit itself, like I said, it is a little bit finer, so I actually used it recently on the fill that I just did. I used it for the finish filing, and it worked really well. Instead of using one that's just going to remove so much acrylic, this one is a little bit more I don't know what the word is, but it doesn't remove as much as quickly, which is sometimes a good thing if you're not going for a whole bunch of product to come off. You just want to smooth things over. And then I took a finer bit and just kind of went over the top of it to smooth it out a little bit further. So now, with silver acrylic, I'm going to be sculpting my basketball hoop. So I began with just a line for the pole of the basketball hoop going down the center of the nail. And as you can see, because silver acrylic has so much pigment in it, or this silver acrylic specifically, I don't know about others, but this one has so much pigment in it that it leaves a nice little silver residue everywhere my brush touches on the side of the line. So to get rid of that, I'm just going to take a little hand file and just kind of file down the sides just to get rid of that nice little residue on there. And then with a white acrylic, I'm going to be sculpting the backboard. So I'm going to start with just kind of the top of it and just kind of use little beads. And the brush that I'm using to do this 3D stuff that you can see, that one is one of them that actually came in the set. So like I said, they are bigger. And this one I thought was about the right size for acrylic, and I decided I'd give it a try. Sometimes you get a brush that doesn't necessarily say it's meant to be used for acrylic, and you try to, and it touches monomer and it dies on you. This one didn't. It did actually hold its shape, and it's a little bit bigger than the 3D brush I normally use, but it did definitely hold up to the trials of being used for acrylic. And it worked out pretty well. And so, like I said, I did my acrylic sculpting with this, or my 3D sculpting with this little brush instead of the one I normally use, just to give it a go. And I also did the painting on this design with the brushes in the set. So then with orange acrylic, I just sculpted the little bit that holds the hoop away from the backboard, just to create like a little platform for it. And then with red paint, I'm going to just go and kind of do a little outline around the backboard, not right on the outline, but just kind of a little bit behind, and then do a little rectangle right in the center of it. And then with black paint, I'm going to be outlining everything. Like I said, these brushes are a little bit larger than I'm used to using, so my lines were a little bit thicker and a little less elegant than I normally would try to aim for, but the brushes do work, and you could always cut them down if you wanted to. I do cut down a lot of my brushes. The main reason why I wanted to test out this set is because the set of brushes I have at the salon where I work is getting a little bit frazzled, so I figured I would maybe need to replace those, and that was kind of my idea here. And then I applied gel sealer over the clear background and matte top coat over the basketball hoop. So now with clear acrylic around a straw, you're going to create sort of just the base for your hoop, for your net. You don't want to really see this part in the end of it. You want to just kind of disappear, but you do have to create this little, I don't know, base is the only thing I can think of, this little clear background for it. So just have your little hoop or your little net created here, and then just after it's set, it easily comes off the straw, so you don't have to worry about that. And it is pretty clear. If depending on your clear acrylic, some clear acrylics are more clear than others. Some of them have a little bit of a foggy background on them. Hopefully yours doesn't. So then you're just going to kind of pinch your straw a little bit and it should just slide right off just like that. Then file those ends so that they're nice and straight. I know that when you first take them off, they're not exactly straight. So just make sure that they are. And then with white paint, you're going to be painting the net going around that clear base. So just start with lines going at a diagonal, almost like candy cane stripes. That's the first thing I thought of when I was making these. I'm like, oh, this looks like a little candy cane, a little clear and white candy cane. But just keep going around your base with those lines in one direction. And then after you have it filled in going one way, switch your direction up and make diagonal lines going the opposite direction, just to create that little intersecting hoop net look. Like I said, I don't really follow basketball, so when I was making some of the little instructions that I was typing out, he was sitting next to me and I would ask him questions like, well, what is this called? And he looked at me, he's like, you're kidding. You don't know this? And I was like, no, I don't. So that was a fun experience for the both of us. So then create just a little rim around the net with orange paint. So just add a little perimeter around one end of your little clear net base. Apply matte top coat around the whole thing and then glue that to your little platform. If you wanted to secure it with some clear acrylic, that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. It would definitely make it a little bit more secure. I didn't do that. I don't know why. Normally I would have, so I don't know what exactly I was thinking there. On a nail form backing though, you're also going to need to make your basketball. So start with just a circle of orange acrylic on a nail form backing, then pop that off when it's set, and then just holding it somehow. I use some poster putty on a brush cover. You're going to need to build up one side of your basketball into that nice rounded half circle or half sphere. So just kind of build it up and then let that set until it's completely done. Flip it over, put a little bit of nail glue on it, and glue a piece of thread. I used white, but white or orange would probably, or black would be the way I'd go with that. And then build up the other half sphere on the other side. So you're going to try to get it as close to a perfect sphere as you can. Bear in mind that it's probably not going to happen, and so don't beat yourself up if it doesn't, because you're human and you're not perfect. It's just how that goes. But just try to get as close as you can to that nice, perfect little sphere, nice, perfect little ball. And then after that is set, after the whole thing is completely solid, go ahead and just gently file any of the high spots and any areas that you're like, oh, that looks a little bit not circular. And just make sure that it is really nice and smooth, or as smooth as you can get it. But as long as it's close, you're good. So don't fret too much about this. And then with black paint, you're going to want to paint the stripes on your basketball. So I started with a line going just right around it, starting at the thread and then going all the way around the bottom and then up the other side, meeting again at the thread. And then I'm going to go through and go around it the other way. So this is perpendicular. So you have these two first stripes going across it, and they're going to make an X on either side of the basketball. Otherwise, they're just going just a little circle. And after that, then you have to make the ones that are more of a oval shape. So hold your basketball as tightly as you can. It's really small, so it's kind of awkward to do this. And then just kind of create those lines that go like an oval around the top part of it and then around the bottom part of it. So just be very careful when you're doing this. And then once you're finished with your basketball, you're going to want to apply a layer of matte top coat over the ball as well. So you just want to make sure that you're sealing in that acrylic paint so it's not going to wear off. So after that matte top coat's on, you're going to want to glue the other end of your thread just right under the side of the nail. If this is actually on a nail, glue it right as close to the top area as you can. So as tight under there as you can, but you won't be able to get quite as high up as I was. And then you can go ahead and make sure that your basketball fits through the hoop. Hopefully that was probably something you might have wanted to check earlier on, but you're all done. So I hope you like this design, and please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!